uncooked rice. Because that's all that he had, and that too he begged for it from his neighborhood. He said, I have to go to see my friend, I have nothing, please offer me something. And they just threw a few uncooked rice and a few grains, and then he collected and took. And because he had devotion, Krishna put his hand in and accepted by force. So many examples of people endowed with devotion. So the point is, he who's all-knowing, he who's all-powerful, he who's all-beautiful, he who's all-famous, he who's all-wealthy, he who's all-renounced, and the embodiment, the ultimate epitome, the zenith of all good qualities, he bows down to the person who loves him. Think about a father. A father may be a multinational corporate head, figurehead. He could be like an MD, a managing director. He could be a CEO. He could be one of those big general managers. He could be controlling so many people and influencing them professionally. But when he comes home and his son wants to have a horse ride, the father takes off all his corporate dress and just is hanging out in his trousers, and he sits on his, he gets onto his knees and becomes like a horse, and the little child sits on the back. Things that his colleagues can't think about. They go to him with so much reverence, but because that child loves the father is ready to become a horse for him. Even in this world we see, love conquers everything. Where is that coming from? It comes from Krishna. No one can conquer him on the prowess of our material opulence and the pride of possessions. But when we humble ourselves and say, Krishna, everything belongs to you. What can I give you? But all that I can give you is the affection of my heart, which you don't have. You don't have the affection that I have for you. Therefore, I offer it to you. Another example. Think about the father whose son tells him, Dad, I want to eat chocolate. Who's the child? Anyone wants to eat chocolate here? Don't worry, I'm not going to give it to you. So think about the child who wants to eat chocolate and tells the father, can you give me a chocolate bar? The father said, sure. Child, you've been an obedient son, I'll give you. Holds him by the hand. They go to the store and gets him a chocolate bar. Now think about it. The child unwraps the cover and takes the first piece and says, Dad, do you want to have it? Do you want to taste the piece of the chocolate? What happens to the heart of the father? It melts. Now, the father may be so rich that he can purchase the whole chocolate store. But it doesn't give him as much happiness as that one small chocolate piece offered with love by his son. Same principle. The whole universe belongs to Krishna. But Krishna likes it when his son, his devotee, offers the same thing that belongs to him, but with affection. Of all the devotees ever seen in history, the residents of Vrindavan, which is the hometown of Krishna, the residents of Vrindavan love Krishna unconditionally. Unconditionally. Now here's an interesting twist. They love Krishna so much that Krishna forgets who he is. Think about it. Think about it. If Krishna wants to play and he comes as God, then God knows past, present, and future. And knowing future means, before playing a game, he knows, okay, I'm going to punch you, you're going to punch me, I'm going to punch you, you're not going to wake up. Which means I'm going to win. So it's like playing chess with Deep Blue. You know, it can calculate. Those who don't know Deep Blue, it was an IBM computer which was very wonderfully designed to defeat Garry Kasparov in chess. And there have been instances where Garry Kasparov defeated Deep Blue, just for side information. So that calculates so many moves ahead. Think about God trying to play with his devotees. His friends want to play with him. And God comes as God. Then he knows what's going to happen. But when he's loved to such an extent that eclipses his divine, all-knowing potency, then it's more exciting for him because now it keeps him on tip of his seat to know, wait a minute, what's going to happen? Let's fight, let's play, let's eat. It's exciting because you don't know what's going to come up and I don't know what's coming up. This excitement that comes up in the life of God comes only when it's eclipsed by the love of the devotees. Has everyone heard of Vrindavan here? Okay, good. So this land of Vrindavan is filled with devotion. And every person in Vrindavan loves Krishna so much. Every mother in Vrindavan loves Krishna more than they love their own child. Now this is impossible. It is impossible for the mother to love anyone more than her own child. But in Vrindavan, every mother loves Krishna more than they love their own child. And this concentrated, one-pointed offering of love eclipses, puts a curtain on the identity of God, and he forgets who he is. When Krishna plays in Vrindavan, who's taking care of the whole universe? He gives it to Vishnu. He tells Vishnu, you take care. Then who's going to take care of Krishna? He gives himself to the devotees. You take care of me. So he gives the universe to Vishnu. He gives himself to the residents of Vrindavan. And the residents of Vrindavan chalk out plans how to entertain him. So God, who is the source of help for everyone, resigns from his position and frolics like a mere mortal in Vrindavan. That's when God takes a break. And the person who scripts all the exciting pastimes every single day so that God, who is completely covered with illusion, can have exciting movements, exciting moments of anticipation. The person who writes the script, her name is Brinda Devi. Who is that Brinda Devi? The Tulsi plant in your house. This is why traditionally people worship Tulsi. Because it is described in Shastra that when someone worships the Tulsi plant, she as Brinda Devi recruits the person in drawing the net of spiritual illusion. What is material illusion? Material illusion is when the person forgets who he is not because of love, but because of frustration, but because of anger, but because of pride, because of envy. He forgets his identity and walks in this world passionately. He walks with passion without compassion. That is material illusion, where he's searching for happiness, which is a right commodity but in the wrong place. But what is spiritual illusion? Spiritual illusion is when God frolics in his home, taking a break from his Godhood position, where he walks around like a child, becoming the object of everyone's love. And why do they love him? Because love is causeless. They have no strings attached, no conditions apply to love him. The person who makes the script of who is going to entertain Krishna, who is going to meet Krishna, who's going to have pastimes with Krishna, who's going to cook for Krishna, who's going to play with Krishna, who's going to dress up Krishna, who's going to sing songs for Krishna, who's going to dance for Krishna's pleasure. Because he's not God at the moment. He's playing the part of a loved toy, pet toy in Vrindavan. The darling of everyone, the sweetheart of everyone's hearts in Vrindavan. The person who writes the script of who's going to serve how is Brinda Devi, Tulsi. So she is the one who draws the net of spiritual illusion, where he who's most powerful, he who can fight 7 bulls outside Vrindavan, becomes so dependent that he holds the little finger of his father and tries to take baby steps in Vrindavan. And he takes 2 steps and the hands slip from the little finger and Krishna falls down to the ground crying. And his father says, Gopal, try again, get up, try again. And he holds on to the little finger of the father and gets up and tries 2 more steps and it slips and he falls down crying. What happened? He is so strong. He can fight 7 bulls. He as Ram can boil the ocean with his glands. He as Ram can lift the bow and string the bow and break the bow. But now he's covered by the net of spiritual illusion and affection that he thinks, oh, I am powerless. Without my devotee, I don't know how to walk. He who's so beautiful walks around in Vrindavan making fun of the monkeys. And the monkey looks at Krishna. He also does the same thing. Then Krishna moves his eyes, moves his eyebrows. And the monkey says, I resign, I can't. Imagine someone that beautiful, so accessible. Why? Because he forgets everything about himself. When God stays at home, when he's at work, that is Vishnu. Very professional, very formal, doing his duties meticulously. But when he's at home, the same father, who may be a managing director, at home, he's in his shorts reading newspaper. That is Krishna in Vrindavan, where he forgets about his godhood, where he's walking like an innocent child, where he forgets everything about his power, about his intelligence. He doesn't think about the fact that, oh, I know so much. He walks around learning small letters. When Krishna was born, his mother looked at him and said, Krishna. And the first thing Krishna said, Mom, 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 Mom. Mom, 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 Mom. He was making sound. He was trying to say, Mom, Mom. But the way he said it, that sound is the most sacred sound in the whole scripture. Mom, Mom. Because he said, Mom. Krishna says, among all the syllables, I'm Mom, Mom. He forgets all that knowledge and comes to his mother and says, oh mother, I want to hear a bedtime story. Now you please tell me, someone who could speak 700 verses of the Gita in 40 minutes, who can tell his parents about 3 past lives, who can learn 64 arts in 64 days, why does he need bedtime stories? What is the story that he's not aware of? His mother tells him, okay, Krishna, it seems like you had a lot of sugar at night, you're hyperactive. You want to go to sleep? Krishna said, yes, but I'm not going to go to sleep unless you tell me a story. Mother said, okay, I'll tell you a story. Krishna said, a new story, okay? Not the same old story. Something that I don't know. Mother would say, okay, I'm going to tell you a fresh, brand new story. Krishna says, yes, I want to hear. The mother says, long time ago, once upon a time, there was a 5-year-old child by the name Prahlad. He worshipped Vishnu. Krishna's listening. Because it's his own story. So he's listening with patience. That Prahlad, and she spoke the whole 7th canto of the Bhagavatam. And then came to the crucial point where Prahlad was asked by his father, so where is Vishnu? Well, my father, he's present everywhere. Is he there in this pillar? Yes, father, he's there. He slams the pillar, and the half-man, half-lion incarnation appears. Krishna at that time smiles. Mother said, why are you smiling? Krishna said, Mother, you're telling me my own story. What do you mean your own story? Krishna, oh mother, why don't you believe that's me? Mother looks at Krishna. You're a little kitten. You're not a lion. You're a small, cute kitten. Don't try to be a lion. Krishna said, you're telling me my own stories. Tell me a fresh story, a new one. Mother said, okay, this is the last one, okay? And you got to go to sleep. Long time ago, there was a king by the name Dasharath. What to do? Mother Yashoda has to tell the stories that she knows. And Dasharath had 3 queens and 4 sons, and one among them was Ram. Told the whole story. Krishna's listening. Then Mother Yashoda says, oh, there came a time when he got married to Mother Sita. Krishna said, And then she continued the story and said, and the 10-headed Ravana came disguised as a sadhu and he kidnapped Mother Sita. As soon as Mother Yashoda said that, Krishna jumped on the bed and said, Lakshman! Bring my bow and arrow! I'm going to tear this 10-headed Ravana to pieces! Mother Yashoda. So you're Ram? Krishna said, yes, mother, why don't you understand? You're telling me my own pastimes. I am Narasimha, I am Ram. Mother Yashoda said, Acha, okay. Interesting, good to know. Balaram comes into the scene. What happened, mother? I thought you were putting him to sleep, but seems like you telling him things which is making him more active than before. What to tell you, O Balaram? Every story that I tell him to put him to sleep, he jumps up saying that's his own story. Balaram told Mother Yashoda, Mother, why don't you believe him? Why don't you believe? When he came as Ram, I came as Lakshman. Now it's Balaram's time. When he came as Ram, I came as Lakshman. When he sleeps as Vishnu, I am Anantashesh. Now he's come as Krishna, I am coming as Balaram. Mother Yashoda was looking for the stick. Balaram said, okay. Mother Yashoda said, Balaram, answer me one question. Balaram said, sure. Is there a reason why the whole Dasha avatar find only my house to appear in? They don't have any other house to appear in? Balaram said, what to do? Your affection is so intense that we are getting attracted to your house. Mother Yashoda said, don't make and cook up stories. If you cook up stories just like I bound Krishna to a wooden grinding mortar, instead of Damodar Leela, it's going to be Balaram Damodar Leela. Balaram said, okay. Can you imagine? The person who's all knowledgeable, when he's covered by the net of spiritual illusion of affection, he wants to learn from his devotee. He who's so strong is learning to hold the little finger of his father's hand. And in this way, that Krishna who is the source of all Lakshmis and has 16,108 golden palaces in Dwarka, in Vrindavan, when his mother is not at home and the fruit seller comes in, because barter system is very famous. You see, when the fruit seller comes in, you take some grains of rice, give it to her and take some fruits. So Krishna thinks, oh, the fruit seller has come in town, my mother is not at home. I'm a big boy. It's my time to take responsibility. Puts his hand into a rice sack, fills his palm with rice sack, walks around with his hand up in the air. And as his hands open up, rice grains slip down from between his fingers. And he walks up there with 2 rice grains in his palms and with confidence tells the fruit seller, oh mother, take as much as you want. And I beg you for all your fruits. Think about it. The Lord of all fortune in Vrindavan, under the net of affection, the net of spiritual illusion, he forgets his identity and moves by the sweet mood swings of his devotees' affection and says, I beg for fruits. This is exactly why I wore this kurta today. No, I'm just making it up. I'm just kidding. It just comes. I'm just joking. Say, oh mother, you can take as much as you want. She looked at Krishna. Krishna, open your mouth. Krishna smiled. Mother, the fruit seller says, oh, your teeth also look like rice grains. Can I pick them too? He said, no. Give me fruits, oh mother. He's begging. And she empties the whole basket. Says, Krishna, you yourself are as attractive as a fruit basket. What fruits can I give you? You are ultimately the person who gives the fruits of all of our activities. What fruits can I give you? But it's interesting that the Lord of greatness becomes the Lord of sweetness. Completely covered by the spiritual illusory net of affection in Vrindavan. And we, as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, worship Krishna, not as he who's God, but he who's being God is ready to become the servant of his devotees. He's ready to become the chariot driver for Arjuna. He's ready to become the messenger for the Pandavas. He's ready to become the night watchman for them when they're sleeping in the tent. He's ready to offer his respects to all the visitors in the ceremony of Yudhishthir Maharaj. He's ready to keep Sudama on his seat and wash the feet of Sudama with his tears. And he's ready to be chastised by his mother. He who listens to all the beautiful songs of glorification in Vaikuntha is ready to have his ear twisted and cheeks slapped when he speaks lies in Vrindavan. When God resigns from his position and sits on the lap of affection, that's when we understand he's covered by the net of spiritual illusion. For us, to get the only way to get out of material illusion is to repeatedly hear about Krishna's pastimes, where he's covered by spiritual illusion. It takes a thorn to remove a thorn. Similarly, the thorn of our lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, jealousy, egocentric propensity, this material illusion can be offset, can be completely overridden when we have a superimposition of pastimes, singing and dancing and hearing and chanting about Krishna, who's covered by the net of spiritual illusion. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, everyone. How many of you would like to still keep sitting and listening to more Katha? I talked to Divya Prabhu and he said, Mataji, we are running out of time. So, as much as we'd like to hear more Katha, we're going to end here with the Katha, but I would like, I don't know if you've got energy, but we're thinking of a little bit of Kirtan.
Why not?
Okay, wonderful. Big round of applause for his Thank you.